Welcome to another episode of Ask Snappy. So today's question comes from Ben from New South Wales, Australia, and he asks, how can I get 1 million installs for the app that I've created using Appy? Okay, great. So Ben has already created an app using Appy Pie. So the app is now up and running on Google Play and iTunes. Now the next focus is how can he get 1 million installs, or rather how can he promote his app effectively. So the first strategy that comes into my mind, because we've already been there, we've done that. At Appy Pie, we launched our app in January of 2018, and in September we were able to get 1 million installs. So we were averaging over 100,000 installs per month. And I'll tell you some of the secrets, some of the tools that we've used to get this $1 million. One of the most important element is ASO, or App Store Optimization. So people, those of you know who SEO, this is all about keyword research, keyword analysis. You need to make sure that the title of your app has all those relevant keywords. And even in the description, try to imbibe those keywords in there where it needs to describe your app, but don't overdo it, because if Google actually senses that you are spamming and you're repeating the keywords, it can get tricky and they might suspend your app. So there needs to be a balance. So do all that homework, do all your keyword research. Some of the tools that we've used is App Annie and App Tweak. I would recommend them. You also use these tools for App Store Optimization. So once ASO is actually taken care of, then we need to look at the analytics. We need to see how often is our app crashing. What devices is the app crashing on? So we need to basically keep a close tab on that. As soon as we figure out that the app is crashing on specific devices, or there's some errors, there's some warning, there's some malfunction, we need to rectify them in the nearest version. So we will recommend you to use Firebase Analytics, which is a free tool provided by Google, and that can help you fulfill that specific requirement. And also Crashlytics. Try embedding the Crashlytics SDK also, which tells you the crashes, how it's happening, what's causing the crashes. So that will help you immensely, because lower the crashes, better the experience, the better the usability, you'll start to get more and more installs coming in. So now we have the ASO taken care of, we're getting installs. What is next? We need to get the ratings. We need to get those 5-star ratings, 4-star ratings. We need to get more and more people to come install our app and rate us. There are multiple ways of doing it. Use your social channels. Go into the Facebook groups, go into the Google groups, tell the users to try the new product or the new app that you guys have launched. Ask them, to go and rate the app, give them the feedback. On top of that, we have found an amazing list for you. So the list we have collated for you, it's specifically curated, that will help you get more and more reviews. We've mentioned that list in the description of our video. Use that. That'll really be helpful. Okay, so the next step, what do? You need to spend some sort of advertising budget to get those installs. We have done that. You would also need to do that just to get that momentum going. So there are like two types of installs. One is incentivized and the second one is non-incentivized. Incent or non-incent, as you might have heard. So for the tools for incentivized, I would suggest you to use multiple tools out there, or multiple platforms or DSPs there. Some of my favorites are Applif, Fixu, and Chartboost. So these are the 3 platforms that you can use, but they're multiple. We've also curated a list for you. You can also utilize that. On top of that, for non-incentivized, the 2 major platforms that you can use to get installs is Google Ads and Facebook advertising. And what in essence you can use the Google Firebase is to track those installs. Which campaign is more effective, which campaign is not more effective. So these are some of the top level tactics that come into my head to get those 1 million installs for you. You're on the right track, as App Store Optimization can get you tons of installs. And we have a dedicated course on this available on our website, which is academy.appypie.com. So I would highly recommend you to go and enroll in this course. And I'm also taking in the liberty of adding the most appropriate sections where Alex talks about ASO for you.
ASO, App Store Search Optimization, it's how most apps get most of their downloads, so it's extremely important, extremely. And the next few videos of this course are going to be about that. And this video is just going to introduce the topic. So the way I look at ASO, App Store Search Optimization, is there are 3 parts to it. And ideally, you want to start at least on the first part before you start programming your app. So it's part of your app research and planning. So the first part of the app is keyword research. It's really important because the more best keywords you identify, the more you can tell, hey, is there enough demand? Can I rank for this app in the app stores? And does it make sense? And is there enough demand that I can make it into a big enough business? And how competitive is it? So this is really important, and it's very foundational. So if you get this part wrong, it negates a lot of your future efforts because the foundation of your app store marketing is not right. So this is going to be very important. We're going to give this a lot of attention in the course. The next thing, after you've identified your keywords, you want to put those keywords onto the app listing. We'll go through that as well. And the first 2 parts are things you can do pretty quickly, maybe within a day once you become good at it. Like literally today, you'll be able to complete that if you apply yourself. The hard part about ranking is after your launch, after day 1, you're like the last app for your keyword, right? On day 1, you're the last app. And so you have to rank higher, jump over the other apps, and that can take some time. So the challenging part is the ranking higher part. We'll actually go through that as well. Now, most people think when they're promoting their app, first-time app entrepreneurs, they think they're going to promote their apps on Instagram, Facebook, maybe they'll run some Facebook ads also. But actually, that's not the most effective thing. ASO, that's the most effective thing. So I also want you to start thinking, because it's very likely that most people taking this course have had this misconception about how they're going to promote. So right away, that's a very common mistake. We're going to fix that. Why? Because search brings you the best, most consistent traffic, because once you rank sometimes for weeks, months, sometimes years. Like I've had an app that's ranked for over 5 years and among number 1. So, and I don't even have to do anything. So, and also when people search, they already want what you have. So search brings you the best quality leads. They're most engaged, they're more likely to share, they're more likely to like your app, they're more likely to leave nice reviews. A little bit more on ASO. It's similar, but a little different than SEO. For SEO, you know from Google search. The main difference in how it's going to affect your app is that on your website, you get many pages. But on the App Store, you really just get one App Store listing. And so the App Store listing can really only allow you to rank for one set of keywords. On the website, you can rank for 1 million different keywords. You can make 1 million different pages. Each one can try to rank for a new keyword. On the app stores, you only get a handful. That's the main challenge. Only a handful of keywords will be going through that stuff, don't worry. And for each keyword that you go through, that you choose, you'll evaluate demand versus volume and versus how competitive those keywords are and how realistic it is to rank. Now, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction to the idea of short tail versus long tail keywords. Short tail keywords are the keywords that bring you the most traffic. For example, in the business niche, the number 1 keyword is obviously business. If you rank for the word business, you're golden. You're doing well. But that's where all the competition is. So all the million and billion dollar apps are ranking as well. So you have to compete with some of the best. So what happens is, because usually in the beginning you can't compete against the best, you go for longer keywords that have less competition around them. So for example, the example I have here is start business or business plan or business ideas or keywords like that are still common and popular, but they're not as difficult to rank for. And what you'll find is it's easier to rank for them, there's less competition, but it's still not so easy, especially in competitive niches like games, health and fitness, those photos, social, those are very competitive niches. So even when you take a step out and find keywords that are not as competitive, it will still be pretty competitive. So then the next step is to go for long tail keywords. And you see the long tail keyword example that I have are business plan for a restaurant, and you can geek out on this. You can go business plan for a restaurant, business plan for a coffee shop, business plan for a mechanic, business plan for a mobile app, business plan for anything, spaceship, you see. So you can go very long tail. And in the beginning, the long tail keywords, they're the ones that are going to get you your initial downloads. And when you have your initial downloads and those people leave nice reviews and other, and things like that, your app will begin ranking higher and higher, and it will begin ranking for the shorter keywords. And notice that the long tail keywords that we're targeting, they contain our short tail. So at the same time, we're giving our apps a chance to rank for both the long tail and the short tail.
I hope you liked what Alex had to teach you about ASO, and I'm 100% sure that this would give you the insights to get your 1 million installs. If you like this edition, then do share it on social media channels like Facebook and Twitter, and do remember to subscribe to our channel.